What was an experience you had when you decided, yeah, I think I want to ask for a raise?
So I've had that opportunity or experience several times in my career, believe it or not. I think one of the most notable ones was the first time I ever asked.
Yeah.
It was probably because I was nervous. And it was at that point where now in my career, I've had an opportunity to go to a lot of women's events, and I've spent a lot of time on negotiations from business school, and I've had some seasoning in how to have that question. And I remember my first time, I of course asked for advice. So that's the first step, ask people.
Yeah.
So that you can get a little help here. I asked for advice. I did some market research, and then I sat down. I created an outline. I had breakfast, I think, at that time and coffee with my manager, and I went through all the reasons why. I talked a little bit about my contributions and why I thought that I was maybe potentially not paid compared to market. And I kind of just left the conversation there. And I didn't get the raise, unfortunately, that very first time, but it was great. I felt really good about it. And I felt confident that I had at least asked and that I took the time to invest and have the conversation.
So if you could go back in time, would you have done it any differently? Or
No, I don't think I would have, because when I left that conversation, I felt really good about it, right? And I felt the biggest thing for me was like, you asked.
Yeah.
And now it was more around what's your value and what do you do about that because of that.
Yeah. And so the nice thing is, even though you didn't get it,
Mm-hmm.
you still established how you saw yourself in their mind.
Exactly.
Like, this is what I think I'm worth.
Exactly. It established my personal value and my personal worth.
Yeah. So would you give any advice to people who come to you now about that? Would you say have the conversation or?
Yeah, and believe it or not, people do come to me about that, and I think they should have the conversation because, again, right, I may look at it, and when you look at it from an organization perspective, there's always the bands, the numbers, and every company, right, and every organization, we want to make sure that people are being paid fairly. But sometimes, I'm not saying people are ever overlooked, because I would never do that intentionally, and hopefully no boss would ever do that intentionally. But I think you should have the conversation and ask, but come with facts and bring the results to the table.